Welcome.
Oopsie daisy. Right. The next project. Obviously pushing it in and around at night, being winter and all in the UK. Later nights, or earlier nights should I say, getting dark earlier. I'm going to fit some lights onto the buggy. A little switch at the top, main dip beam, possibly, because I say people walking torches the other way are really quite annoying, so it's going to be a little bit courteous and actually have a dip beam. Same lights, probably just going to run the power through a resistor just to lower the voltage a little bit. That should make it dip, and I'm going to, just for the little added bonus, going to have a little, so I've got a twin one for the actual buggy. Going to potentially put some little red LEDs on the back just to, well, just because I can. And that's, excuse me, on that one, that little single one, I'm actually going to have it on like a little pivot mount thingy, so little one can torch away to a heart's content, sort of thing. So you can sort of shine things, you can turn it left and right to shine things and light up things, and so obviously that's going to be on a switch, so we can turn it off. If she starts pointing at people, we can turn it off, and that's the main beam. Just can't remember. I think I got these from Banggood again before the world went to crap, and then yeah, very bright. I mean, very bright. I think they take up to 22 volts. I'm going to just be running them on 4S, so it's about 14.8, so yeah, nominal. And they say they've got some sort of regulator thing in there. I've seen that might be a step down or something. It's got to be something like that. So they might only be 12 volts, but they're little step downs that they can take anything. And so a little switch handle on the top, and yeah, let's get designing. Right, try and get in shy here a little bit. So firstly, wait up, there we go. So firstly, what I was going to do is mount them on the wheel. So as you turn around the corner, they will move with the wheel. So as you turn the corner, it'll actually be like directional lights, I suppose. You can, like on a modern car, as you turn, you can sort of face the way you turn the lights to the way you're facing. Only trouble with that is they're quite low to the ground, and of course then they more likely going to start more pointing up a little bit, which again is going to be more annoying for other people. Might put some LEDs right on the front, I don't know, I'll just see how it goes, how much wire and electrics I've got left. So the main point is here, any higher than that and you're on the hood. Obviously the main problem with that is, if the rain cover's down, they're going to be inside the rain cover, but that's probably a good thing to stop them getting wet, but I think they are 100% waterproof. But obviously the other thing is, why would it be outside in the dark in the rain? I don't think that's ever going to happen. So that's that. Of course they would still work through the cover, it's just the fact that little one would get a lot of glare off the plastic. Right, so what I'm going to do, let's say, mount these two somewhere there, have them fixed, and then the top one, sort of come some kind of swivel, put like a handle on the back so she can turn it, not like super round, but not little ones like, they like bashing things, so that'd be quite good. So give her something to do while she's sat there. Yeah, so I might have a little bit of adjustment there. But like I say, with that, them being there, their point down, rather than being that there with the turning, would be epic. But again, they'll be pointing, they'll be quite low to the ground, you won't get a very good effect on them. So there is going to be best. Say it's about the size of, if you lower your car, that's probably about the same as a lowered car. So, and then that one on the top, and then say some sort of switch up here, push button switches or something to oh, get that in shot, to do the controls. So one's going to have a resistor on one side for dip beam, and then you can hold the button for main beam, or vice versa, or whatever. And there we go. So you need to design some sort of army mounty thing. It's probably quite good to cable tie onto that, but so I'm going to probably mount on here, come across, and actually have the thing in the middle, so it's a separate arm to this one, basically. So obviously that's all padded. I don't really want to cut up that. Anyway, let's get on with that and see how that goes. Okay, so I think I've got a plan. I found this aluminium tube. It's about 16mm diameter, 1.5mm wall, which is hopefully just the exact right length I need. I say exact, good enough. Got my old tube bender out. That's just a standard copper bender, plumber's bender. So basically you're going to bend the hoop around the handle, have a couple of plastic moulded, well 3D printed brackets to hold it onto the actual frame of the buggy, but the top part, like the bit that holds the lights and the bracket and stuff, I'm probably going to make it out of aluminium and just TIG weld it together rather than actually 3D printing it, because it's going to have a bit of a, she's going to be giving it some stick, so she's getting pretty strong. So that top part's going to be aluminium and welded together. The rest of it, I say, can strengthen with cable ties for now. If it works out well, I might make an aluminium bracket rather than 3D printing, because as I say, I don't think 3D printing is going to put up with her abuse. Anyway, so say it's just a support, but anyway, what could possibly go wrong? Let's go on and mess this tube up, because it's the only piece I've got. Finish my tea off. Right. Finish my tea now. Let's go and do some stuff. So the first thing is obviously measure how long I want the legs. Although, I'll spin you around. It's probably more important I get that right, to be fair, because that height I can just cut back or not worry about if it's not enough, because there's plenty of good cable tie points there. Obviously cable ties aren't the best, but it says it's just a product in development, as they say. So I want 380 across the pitch. What could possibly go wrong with this? So let's do that. Let's mark that up first. Would have been great if that was a bit wider. So we're about 2 inches out on the width, which kind of be expected using a hand formed pipe bender. What I can probably do is just, I'll chop a bit out of the middle. I've got to weld it together anyway, or do some welding on it. I'll just chop a section out, get it back to where it should be. Yeah, there's a little bit of noise because that's going to go through there anyway. It'd be nice if it was there. Beggars can't be choosers. Yeah. So it's not a complete failure, and it's the only piece of tube I had, so there we go. Yeah. Just checking in the box if there was any more, and there wasn't, so it's pretty square though. Yeah, it's definitely equal about. What sort of radius do we end up with in the end? Yeah, about 18mm radius. Just seems to be 2 inches too wide. Well, inch each side, so. Yeah, as I say, the rad, I've marked it there. The rad didn't actually start till there, so that's where the inches come from. Which is slightly annoying, but as I say, you don't know how a piece of tube's going to react until it reacts. Still, not a total loss. We can still use it. Hi guys, so that's, sort this out, there we go. So that's the light bar, welded up, obviously the bracket on that, I'm not going to touch the middle because it is really hot. So you've got the tack welded on. So the tricky bit was obviously welding the 1.2 aluminium to 3mm aluminium, but as long as you're careful it's doable. So that little strap there, that little gap there, that's for the strap to go in on the light bar, on the original buggy bar, so you need to dress them corners off to make sure they're all nice and smooth. Don't want any sharp corners, do we? And just need to cool that down. I need to work out how to do the kind of the pivoty light on the top. So that centre piece of tube that I cut out the middle is probably going to come in handy, so possibly slot it, put it over the top, weld it on. And I've got this chunky bit there. Could be the pivot point, I don't know. Just going to see how it, just going to do this on the fly and see how it goes. Alrighty then, so she's all welded up. Got the first kind of dust coat put on it. So then we've got 2 lights go in there. This top one, it's got a screw to go in the front, so it'll only sort of do 45 degrees. Possibly going to put just a piece of pipe over on those, just to give them a bit more, so a bit chunkier, so they're not actually, she's not actually holding cold metal as well, because obviously it's going to be at night time, possibly dark. Well, it will be dark. Oh dear. Been getting up too early. Yeah, so it will be dark, possibly could be cold. But so I'm going to give it another coat of paint, then I'm going to start wiring it up. Well, I say fit it on there. Basically, I'm only going to fit it on at the moment just with some cable ties, because that bit there is where the sleeve goes through. So the couple of cable ties there isn't going to hurt, and these ones down this end is just stopping it wiggling around. And I say screw's going to go in there, so she can't lift it out and take it apart. And again, with the limited, she can't spin it round, the wire's not going to get too tangled either. So I'm going to finish spraying it, and then we'll get her fitted up. Still a bit wet. Yep, still a bit wet. Anyway, hopefully should we give it a test run tonight. Right, so I've got to sort the switches out, give that a coat of paint, and then yeah, looking good. So it hasn't been a straightforward journey. Got a couple of mangled bits here. I welded the first boss onto the top for the swivel part, and fortunately I put the other part in while this bit was hot to check to see if it fitted, and it never came out again. So lesson learned. It's got to say, it's quite soft aluminium, this. I don't know quite what grade it is, but it's definitely very chewy. Okay, so I found 3 lot switches. One for main on off, I suppose. And there's my phone. One for turning on the adjustable light for little one, and a main and dip beam as well. So I'm going to stick these into this little bracket, and that's just going to go on the handlebars. Again, probably only going to be cable tied just to see how it gets on. Would be nice if that was 3D printed, but not at this point. Just want to see if it all works. And that's it. Just going to get on, drill the holes and mount those. Okay, there we have it. I'll do a bit of a zoom in a minute, but you've mainly got 2 headlights, and then we've got the searchlight, both together. So they're different colours, like mainly because those are the older one, that's the newer version. But yeah, they're bright. Oh dear. The girls haven't seen this yet. We're going to test drive it tonight. I've got a spare switch. Couldn't manage to do the main and dip beam. Mainly because, well, they're bright. But what the hell, it's a pushchair. So I want to do some other lights on it, I think. Well, potentially. I got a spare switch. Yeah, really pleased. So, going to get a test drive tonight, and obviously you'll see that on the end of the video. What could possibly go wrong? So what we've got going on here, just bring it forward a little bit. We've got some Sparco silicone hosing. No, not Sparco, Samco, sorry. God, I don't even know what hose I bought. That's quite annoying, that's a little bit just better. So that's basically so he hasn't got cold hands. Little doesn't get little cold hands. Obviously the RC bracket holding the 2 headlights. Had to remake the cylinder part. due to the fact I welded this bit, well, the original piece onto the bracket and then put the top part in, and of course the top part heated up, seized in, and that was the end of that. That's just a little regulator for that top one. There's plenty of flex in that cable there to doesn't get tangled up. I'll see the little screw at the front in the slot. Don't know how well that's going to come out. Quite dark here. Again, it just runs in that little slot. Of course, that stops her from pulling it out the top. And we've got the cables running down. I've got a plug here, so you can undo. That can come off easily, but leaves the main wiring loom. Then up here, obviously it's probably going to come off when I reattach another switch, because that's that switch there is the one that's not being used. So you've got main beam, searchlight, and then that's possibly going to be like side lights or something. Don't know. Horn. I don't know. So yeah, I suppose saying that, I could put a push button on there, put a horn on there. Now that'd be funny. Anyway, so there we go. There goes the bin. Yeah, really pleased with that. So only thing we've got to do now is let's turn you around. Only thing we really got to do now is take it for a test drive. So I'm going to tidy the bench up a little bit because it's got a little bit messy, as you do. But until the test drive, happy days.
It's not on.
So I turn it on. Right, you show me how it works.
That way.
Is it a good light?
Yes.
Does it get the thumbs up? Yay, we got the thumbs up.
Thumbs down.
What? Why the thumbs down?
Yes.
Why?